Welcome to the session. So, in this session, I will be talking about how to perform the file handling in Python, or basically how we can manage file systems using the Python code. Like we can create a file, we can read, perform read operation, write operation, and to perform our various requirements during the coding of a complex program. So basically, as we know that file is and basically file is a named location that is stored on a disk, and it stores the data in a non-volatile memory. That means that whenever you create a file, it persists in the hard disk. As soon as you close the program, the data in your file doesn't delete. Like whenever we create any particular variable in a program, as soon as the program we end, the value and the variable doesn't exist in the memory, but that is not there in case of file. If we want to save or we want to keep some data or to save some data in the hard disk, then we can make use of the file system. That is, first we create whatever data we have, we create that, we generate the output and save that output in a file. Uh, to create a file or to basically assess a file, we need to follow three steps, or you can say the structure of any Python program that handles a file system follows three syntax. The first syntax is always opening a file. That means we need to specify a statement that corresponds to opening of a file. And the second basically corresponds to performing the required operation that we need to perform or that we intend to perform on a file, whether it's a read or write. Like as such, you cannot perform any data or any kind of
Screen is not visible, sir.
sorry, sir.
The screen is not visible.
The screen is not visible. Okay, sir. So is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Thank you, sir. So I was saying like there are three steps that we need to follow whenever we perform any kind of operation with file. The first one is opening a file. The second one is performing the operation, and that is read and write operation only, because we cannot manipulate the data in the file only. To basically first we read some data from the file, take it to our RAM, and then we perform a required operation, and then we store back it, or we can say write back the output to the file. So there are generally two operations only, read and write. And the third statement is closing the file. If you don't close the file, it will basically the file will get corrupted if you end the program without closing the file. As such, compilers are intelligent enough. You can skip this statement, but it's always a safeguard statement to close the file explicitly. Fine. So this is the three structures. Just remember that we need to open the file, then we read or write the data from the file, and then third step is closing the file. To perform these operations, Python gives some particular syntax. Like to open the file, we use the command. We use the keyword open, or you can say we use the function named as open. Fine, which takes the file name and have some optional arguments. And whatever data we define a variable and assign the open file to that variable. So you can say we create a basically file object that basically links up to the file that we want to open. To close the file, we use the close function where we do not need to pass any particular argument. We just use a syntax like file object, whatever is the object that you have created for your file, then dot, then close function. To write in a file, we basically use the make use of the write function. That the syntax goes like file object dot write, and we in the brackets we pass a string or the data that we want to pass. Uh, if we want to pass it a variable like an integer value, then we can define the integer value. String basically like whenever we pass anything in a file, it basically writes in the form of a string. So if you write a two, it will do gets. If you write an integer variable, it will also get stored. So string by default, anything that you pass gets stored in the file in the form of a string. And last function, that is a read function, we use to basically read the data from the file, and where the syntax goes like the file object dot read, and in the brackets we have an option of defining the count. Count basically means to say how many characters that you want to read from the file. Suppose you have a file that contains 10 lines, and each line contains 20 characters. So in short, there are 200 characters in the file. So 200 plus 200 plus 9 characters, 9 for new line character. So there are total 209 characters in your file. So you can define how many characters that you want to read by using the square brackets within the read function. So this is an optional argument. If you skip the count argument, then that will indicate that all the data from the file is all the data from the file is needs to be read. Fine. So here is an example of how to open a file. So there are like various syntax here. The first is a simple syntax, that is f equals to f, and in the brackets we are passing the name of the file that we want to read. Here we are defining test.txt in a double quotes. Now f is an file object that will get created, that will basically link the test.txt object with the f object, and f is a function. Now this syntax we follow we are if the text file that we want to read or the file that we want to read is within the same directory in which the current or the Python program is there. Suppose you save your test.txt direct file in the D drive, and you are creating your Python code in the C drive. Then you cannot use the first syntax. Then you need to use the second syntax where we have to define the full path of the file. Like here, readme.txt is saved in a folder named as Python 33, uh, which is stored in the C drive. So that's why the full path of this file of this particular readme.txt is c colon slash python 33 slash readme.txt. So if like in my case, if the test file is existing in the D drive, then I will write d colon slash test.txt. Simple. So basically, if you are storing a file in a different location, that is, you are storing in a file, that is, you are storing in a folder that is not containing your Python code, then you need to mention the complete path, and that path can be absolute path, or you can also uh, define the relative path. Absolute path means to say like the complete path from the root directory. Like here, we are defining the absolute path. The relative path means to say like you can use the double dots, then colon, double dots, then slash, then name the folder. That means you are defining the relative path from the current directory. Like so, like if you have studied about the relative path, you will have the idea what do I mean by the relative path. The next option is basically the third option here is basically defining saying that whenever you open a file, it it is always like in which mode does that file get open. Like you can open the file in the read mode or the write mode. Read mode means to say that you can say it's a kind of a security point. You can see from the security point that a read mode defines that you cannot write anything to a file if you have opened that file in the read mode. Same way, if you have opened the file in the write mode, then means you can write the data into the file, uh, but you cannot read the data from that file. So by default, if you simply name the or use the name of the text file or the file that you want to read in the open function, then that means you have opened that file in the read mode or the R mode. If you want to open in the write mode, then you need to specify this second argument, that is uh, W. So this basically means to say that we want to write into the file. If you want to open in the read and the write mode, then we basically use the R plus B instead of W, where R stands for that we want to read also, and here B is means to say that we want to write in the binary mode. So here we want to perform both the operations, that is read and the write. If you want to write in the simple mode, that is in the normal ASCII code, we use W. So like here, and the last step is closing. So to close the file, we use the file object name, that is f dot close function. Now here we have not performed any kind of a read and write operation on the file. We have just opened the file and closed the file. Fine. So the next thing is about uh, operations that you can perform on a file. But before that, in Python, whenever we open a file, we need to specify a third argument also while opening the file, that is the encoding. Well, means to say in which like the data that we read from the file should be read in which standard, whether it should be in read in a ASCII standard or it should be read in a binary format. So like if you want to read in the ASCII code the encoding scheme, then generally we use the syntax as UTF-8. So this means that the ASCII code, or you can say that if there's a letter A, then that code then A will be read as A if you specify the encoding as UTF-8. Generally, by default, the coding scheme in for a text file is UTF-8 only, or you can say ASCII code only. But in some cases or on some systems like on Windows, the encoding scheme that we generally follow is CP1252. So if you're reading a file on a Windows system, it is generally better to specify the encoding scheme. But if you are basically, suppose you are making a web application where you are not aware the source of, or the operating system of the source where the file is existing, then it's better to safeguard or to write to define the encoding scheme, because the data may come from in any form. So in a web application, it's always better if you are reading a file from a third party to define the encoding scheme, because the third party file may have some hidden code that may corrupt your website or server. So it's always better to it's a safer option to define the encoding scheme. So and to define the encoding scheme in the F sorry, to define the encoding scheme in the open function, we define it as a third argument. Like here we have defined it as encoding equals to UTF-8. It's not compulsory to use this particular statement that is encoding equals to. You can skip that and you can just specify the third argument as UTF-8 in a single argument. Fine. The third thing that is of creating a file, the is always better to use a syntax that is try and sorry, to open the file in a try and catch block, where the syntax goes like try to open the file. If the file doesn't open, then perform the final whatever operation is there in the final operation, or you can say in case of any error, the final the syntax, the statements that are there in the final block will get executed. Fine. So it's better to use the try and final block whenever we access any particular file. So it's kind of a safety measure, not a compulsory requirement. Whenever we basically open a particular file, so some particular attributes do get attached with our object file. Like close is a kind of an attribute that gets associated, or that comes that can be accessed with the file object. The second one is the mode. That means we can identify the we can print the mode in which we have opened the file, and the file name. To print the file name, we can use it object name of the file object and then dot name. So this will basically return the name of the file. Fine. I will show you how what are these commands and how they are what kind of result do they return. Uh, to do so, let's first take an example. Like here we have opened a test.txt file and perform some operation. The first one is writing to a file. We have written three statements in this file. That is, my first file, this file contains 3 lines. Fine. So these 3 lines we write in a test.txt. Then we close it, and after closing it, we are reading text from the data. The so after closing it, if we want to perform any kind of operation with the file, we need to open it again. So we first open the file in the read mode, and the encoding scheme is UTF-8. Now the difference between this open statement and this open statement is this basically like this like to open a file you can use two syntax. You can use the equal to sign also, like here we use the f equals to open, and you can also use the with keyword, like sorry, you can use the with keyword to open a file. Like here we have opened the file by defining with open file name and as f. So here we have not used equal to statement, but this statement and this statements are equivalent to each other. So basically here we are assigning whatever we read from the file gets stored in the f, and here we are assigning the f object to the f. Fine. So these are just, you can say, these are different modes of opening the sorry, these are two ways of opening a file, but as such there is no difference uh, between these two statements. So next we have read in the read mode, we are first reading the first 4 characters of the file, then we again read the 4 characters, and then the last we are reading the complete file. Fine. So, and again we are reading the file, as there is nothing in the file, we have already read everything, so it will return null. So like, let me show you. So first, I have already created a file. So basically, in my desktop, I have a file named as test. This is a file that I will intended to read, and the text in this file is hello everyone, how are you all? Fine. Suppose this is the text in my file, and I want to read this. So the syntax will go like, we will first write the open statement, and then we will use the read function to read the content from this file. So f equals to open, name of the file is test.txt, fine, and if we want to read in the open it in the read mode, and then coding scheme is UTF-8, fine. So let's run this. Yes, the file has got opened. Before reading anything from the file, let's use these three attributes of the file, that is f, close, mode, and name. Fine. So let's use this and print the file name first. So it is test.txt. Next, let's print the mode in which we have opened this file. So it is in the read mode R, and whether it is close or not. Or is it open? Let's check by writing f.close. So it has given some particular attributes, and you can interpret it as close. Like, let me close this file and then show you. If I use the first close function, sorry. Again, if I run this particular command, it is giving some particular okay. Okay. Here basically, when actually we are using the Jupyter environment, so that's why the output that we achieved is in the object format. So if you run this command in a .py file, then you will return true or false as an output regarding this particular state. Here we are using the Jupyter environment, that is the IPython notebook format. So because of that, the output that we are achieving is in the object format, and this is an object that we received by running this command. So that's why it is not printing in the form of true and false. But if you run the same command in that node in that .py file, then it will return true or false only. Fine. So next, let's open it again. First, remove these strips. Now, let's open the file again and perform some read operation. Like, to read the file, to read the first two characters, let's run write 2. So f.read, and in the brackets I have passed 2. Now the output is he, that is the first two characters. Now suppose if I write again f.read again, the output is hello. Oh, it is not hello, it is LLO everyone dot slash n hello, or how are you all, question mark slash n. So where is this he in this particular out? Basically, whenever we read the text from the file, we use cursor for reading for reading the text from the file. So when we execute the first statement, that is f.read, and in the brackets we pass 2, that is we first read the two characters, the cursor moved 2 points ahead or two characters ahead. And next, when we again write the read operation, the the text started sorry, the Python compiler started reading the file from the current location of the cursor that was at the third location, or you can say that was at the uh, second position of the text file. So that's why it has kept the first two characters and read the remaining characters. Fine. So just remember that whenever we read anything, after performing the reading operation, the current position of the cursor that we are using to read the content from the file moves ahead. Fine. So it will print the remaining characters only. Now if I again write f dot read, it will return nothing because I have already read everything from the file. Fine. So now if I write anything, suppose if I write f dot write and use this is my first file, like see, when I like now this there is an error. The error is because I have specifically defined that the just a minute, just a minute. Um, Sorry for the interruption. My signal actually gets got lost. So I was saying like here when when I wrote the write command, it prompted me an error because if the mode in which I opened the file, I have specifically specified that the mode in which the file should get opened is in the read mode. So now, whenever we basically anything that I want, I can perform with this file is the read mode only. Now, as soon as I perform the write operation, it throw it throws me an error of that I cannot perform any write operation in this file because it is not writable. So now to open that file in the write mode, I need to close that file, then again open that file in the write mode. So I will use the same syntax. So like here, I open the file in the write mode and I then rewrite this command. So now, like I have written a statement, and before seeing the change in my file for a safe option, I will first close the file and then see the content of the file. So see, whatever was there got removed in my file, and everything is replaced with the text that I have defined. Fine. So the content that was there in the file got deleted, and the new text that I written in the file got is placed in the file. Now suppose if I again open the file in a simple in the read and write mode. Suppose I write R plus W and then execute this. Okay. Suppose I skip this statement, just write this thing. Now if I perform, see, now whenever I do not specify the mode in which I want to open that file, it is opened in the read mode only. Why? Because whenever like as I use the write operation in after writing this statement, it give me an error that it is not writable. So the content, the file cannot be written or overridden by the new content. So you by this statement you can see. And suppose if I now open read something from this file, let's write read. Now the content of the file is this is my first file. I have not specified any encoding scheme. Still, it is able to read the file content correctly because we are defining the encode. Because by default, the encoding scheme is UTF-8 only. But it is a good practice to specify the encoding scheme because here we are using the file in the Ubuntu system or a Linux system. So by default, it reads and writes in the UTF-8. But it may happen that on a web service, on a web service, the system on a web service, the system may the files may reside in a system that is not Ubuntu or Windows or any other particular Unix or any Linux system can be there. So you may not be sure of the encoding scheme of the of file. So it's better to use the specify the encoding scheme. Fine. So this was it. Now here is the alternative. Like here we as here are some other options also. Like first option is, as I already told you, we can use the open with keyword to open a file. So here we are using with command with keyword and then defining the open, and whatever we read from the file is gets stored in the F file object. The second index is basically from the F object. Like here, we were using the read function to read the entire content from the file. But suppose if you want to read a file line by line, then we use the syntax of for loop. Like here, we are reading a file from the file object, then printing that file here. Now here we have performed an additional operation, that is we are splitting the line by the space. So we are splitting the line into words. So we are printing the number of words that are there in our file. So like if I show this in this on our sample file. So first let's first create a sample file here. So to do so, we will write f equals to open, like in my on my desktop I have no file named as sample.txt. Fine. So now whenever I open the file, write the open command and write sample.txt and open it in the write mode, and then coding scheme that I use is UTF-8. Now the file doesn't exist in my, now this file is not there in my, is not there in my on my desktop. Fine. So you can say in my current directory, and I have used the open command. So what this statement will do, this will not give me an error. It will create a new file with the name sample.txt. Like if I run this, it has run without giving any error. So now if I go to my, now if I go to my desktop, so there's an sample.txt file you can see, and if I open this, it is empty, right? So now we will start filling the data in this. Suppose if we write f dot write hi, fine. Two characters I have written, so it is written as 2. Now I write f dot write again. Hello everyone. Now if I see the content of my file, I have written hi and hello. Um, there's not written anything. Okay, let's first close this file and then see. Fine. So let's close this file. And now you can see the data is written. So until and unless we do not write the close statement, the data is not saved back to the file. Basically, this, the write function executed successfully, but the result was not stored back to the file. It was stored in a RAM. As soon as we wrote the close function, the whatever data we wrote in the write statement got stored back into the sample file, or you can say in the hard disk. So it's always necessary to write the close statement, close statement to successfully write the data. So now suppose now if I want to edit or basically write some more data in my sample file, I need to open that file again. So I will I will execute the command. I will suppose I write the same statement. First two statements are same, hi and hello. Now ahead of this, I write f dot write uh, u slash n. What is day today? Suppose this is a text. Now How are you? Like hi, hello, how are you will come in a single line. The next, the text that is what is day to day. This will come in the next line because I have used a new line character in between these two statements. So let's run this. Now if I write f dot close, and now if I see the text in my sample file, it is hi, hello, how are you? Like there is no space in between these statements because I have not used any kind of space while writing the statement. Like hi, no space before and after hi, hello, no space before and after hi, and how are you is starting without any space. And next, after the question mark, we had specified a new line character. So whatever character that needs to come after how are you question mark will come in the next line. The next line we are defining what is day to day. So that has got saved in the next line. Now suppose if I want to read or basically print each character, fine. Suppose I want to print each character, each word in this file. Then what I will do, I will use this particular format. Like first I will open, like it is not necessary to use the open with the with keyword to read the character. You can use this syntax also, or you can use with syntax also. So I will be using the with equals to operation equal to statement only to open the file. So like let's if I now read or basically print each word in my file. That is here I am defining each word. So like each word is separated by a space. So for my file, like the file that I'm considering contains first word as hi, hello, how. These are this is the first word because the next word comes after the space. Then are, then space, then you. So these are, there are three words in the first line, and then there are four words in the second line. So let's print these words. So let's open first f equals to f dot open. We want to open the sample dot text file. Open it. Now we will use the for loop because from each line we want to read a particular like from each line we need to fetch the each word. So we will use for line in f colon word equals to line dot split function. So basically, you can say line is a variable that is a string data type. Fine. So whatever we read, we always read in the format of string. So like if there's a numeric number also, we read it in the form of a string. So two will be read as a string. Fine. So we split it with a space, and then let's print the word. Like for the first word is hi, hello, how are you? This is the first word because the next word that comes ahead is that is R is after a space. Then how are you? New line. So this is the next third word. Then what is day to day? So this way you can print each word by specified delimiter. Suppose I use the delimiter as O instead of space, and if I run this and print the word, okay, let me first run it. First dot close. Okay. Let's open this file again. Let's use O. See, the output is HILEO, high health. Now, as soon as the O comes, the Python breaks the word into two words, that is first word and the second word. Second word as such in our text file was first word was next word was how. Now after the H there's an O, so H got how got broke into H, and the remaining set of words are here W R Y, and U was consisting of O also, so it breaks the words into U and O. Then in the next line, today was the single word that was containing the letter O. So whatever there was before today gets concatenated with the T. So the first word that becomes is what is day, T. The next word is day. Fine. So you can specify any kind of splitter that you want to use to split the line. And suppose you want to count the number of words that are there, or the number of total words that are there in a line. So like if I say length here and then print this. So this will print? This will print the number of characters that are there in a file. Like I'm opening and closing the file again and again to print the data from the file because I'm using a Jupyter notebook, so it is giving this error. It is not printing once I have read the data. But if you are working on through an .py file, you do not need to close and open the file again and again if you are performing the read and write operation. Fine. So like you can see here the number of words, like in the first line there were 4 words. So like let me show you along with the words only. So let me print O word and let's use the space here. Fine. We will split the words with by using space as the delimiter. And let's run it again. Now see, like there are 3 words. So hi, hello, how are you? So there are 3 words. So we printed the words, and then there are 4 words in the fourth statement and the second statement. So there are the number of words that got printed is 4. So loop is necessary because we are fetching a single line from a file and then we are performing the operation on that line. Fine. You can use this. You can use this also, like if you want to print how many characters are there in a word. So if we will use for char n word colon print length array. Suppose I use this particular statement. Now see, let's first close and then again. Now there are 10 words in the first character, that is hi, hello, how are you? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 got printed. Then the second word was of 3 characters, so 3 got printed. Then the next character was of, though there it the second third word was you, but we need to consider the question mark and the slash n operator also. So there are total 5 words that has printed 5. Similarly, in the second line also, each word was first word was 3. Then um, sorry, first word was of 4 characters. Then second, then 2 characters, then 3 characters, then 6 characters in the fourth. Just to number of words in a line and number of characters in a word. Let's like run this way. It will concatenate operation and concatenate operation. Let's run this, then this, then again. Okay. Push comma. Okay. Now you can see the number of characters in the word is 10, then 3, then 5. Fine. The number of words in this line is 3, and then it is 4, 2, 3, 6, and then the number of characters is 4. Fine. So this way you can use a split function, or basically different functions of your string data type to perform any kind of operation on the word or on the particular word of the character. So that's it from my side. If you have any questions regarding the file operations, you can post it on the chat window. If you have any questions, please type in the chat window.
Participants, if you have any query, please write in chat box.
I don't think anyone has a problem, any issue. So
Okay, thank you, sir.
thank you so much.
No, sir.
Thank
Thank you, participants, and please join today session 3 at 4 p.m.